Welcome to another walk in the Word. Do a little quick look at Trader Joe's. Just want to see what they've done with the parking lot, because I think otherwise there's not much to look at. I was half thinking about maybe putting my Akubra hat back on because I miss it so much. But it's still a bit too warm. Although that heat wave is gone, the humidity is gone. Really happy about all that. Let's take a look. All the fencing is gone. Ah, yes. You know, a couple of walking the words back, I was pointing at this curb, at how it sinks down and then rises back up. Does it over on that side too. Surprised they didn't do it on this corner, but that's you know, that thing they do with sidewalks so that nobody has to step down or up. Yeah. But somebody mentioned all those holes that were dug last week, that maybe they had to do with you know, plants and things, and they were right. Here we go here. Kind of surprised. Well, no, I guess they see, they took all this out because it does line up with the door for the tractor trailers to pull in. So they have room for that. And you know, here's another one. They're going to be putting some plant life in here, and obviously they're probably going to lay a whole new, you know, blacktop. I don't know if you can see this, my arm. I noticed it on last Thursday's word study. Mosquito bites. I don't know how they got in my house, but they did, and I got nailed a dozen times. Anyway, that's pretty much the size of it. Trader Joe's, a storefront for someone else to lease out, and the tractor trailer entrance. Now let's go for our walk in the Word. Have you personally ever seen a UFO? I mean, for real. People get such a kick out of this. Anyway, have you ever seen a UFO? Well, I have two stories to tell you. One of them is the most convincing UFO sighting I have ever seen. I mean, aside from the fact that I saw it personally, I've never seen anything recorded or reported that's as powerful as the one I have to tell. First story I have is I think I might have been 16 years old. I was just gazing out my bedroom window on a summer evening, looking up at a night sky. It was all dark. And I saw a light up in the sky, up in the Shamayim, and it was undeniable because I watched it moving, and it stopped, and then it just went up like this, stopped, over like that, stopped, over, down like this. I was like, what's going on? Now that was like, it looked like a star in the night sky. But, you know, and at first I thought, well, what is that, a plane? You know, but then it stopped. And that's what caught my attention. And then it just went in a, you know, 60 degrees, you know, weird angles. But to just go, stop, shoot up like this, over, down, like, you know, nothing known to man can do that. So, I was only 16. But I figured, yeah, UFO. Not a big deal, but an exciting thing to personally witness. Well, the next story. This one's powerful. I was, I would say, 19 years old, living out in California on Venice Beach, part of LA, I think, but Venice Beach, California. I enjoyed those days. And back then, I had driven from New Jersey out to California in my 1954 Ford two-door ranch wagon. Pretty much Ford's version of the Chevy Nomad. And, you know, I did my thing to it. I replaced the headliner, pretty big job in a ranch wagon. I did it with leather. That was my first, you know, and I tweaked up the engine and all that stuff. Ironically, you know, it's a 1954, same as my truck today that I drive, 1954. Anyway, I had driven that out to California, and if I remember right, my gas gauge wasn't registering properly, so I took it to a shop, and he was fixing that. And I had to go pick the truck up. So those of you who have read my book may be familiar with the name of Mark Palladino. I've known Mark since I was, I don't know, maybe 6 years old. Didn't know that I knew him when I was 6, but our parents hung out at the same parties and stuff like that, so I assume we played together. I didn't really meet him until I was 15, 16, and I was writing songs, and he checked them out, and he was real impressed. And he grew up in Jersey like I did, but his parents, when he was 18, he was 3 years older than me, so he had just moved out to California from Jersey after graduating from high school, was visiting his grandmother who lived across the street from me, and we met. So a couple of years later, he invited me out, wanted to get into music, and we got into it together, and it's a lifelong story. He's a great friend. He's a good man. He's produced big name acts. The list is huge. You can check his website out. I'll put a link to it. If you look at his list of artists, you'll see me there. But anyway, Mark was giving me a ride to pick up my car from the mechanic. And he dropped me off. I got my car. We drove back together. Parked. Now, Mark's place, I was staying with him whenever I went out there. His place was on Venice Boulevard. If you walked across the street of Venice Boulevard and went between the next row of buildings, you'd hit the beach and the ocean. So we parked, and he was real excited when he got out of the car. He says, did you see the sunset or whatever? It's like, I don't know what you're talking about. We ran upstairs. His place was up on the second story, and we're out on the porch, and here's where it gets crazy. Up that high, we could see across the tops of the buildings across the street, Venice Boulevard, and then just above there were 3 UFOs. 1, 2, and 3. And they had flashing red lights on the bottom, left and right, going like that. And Mark was always much more aggressive, willing to rush in where angels fear to tread. He just ran downstairs, ran across Venice Boulevard down to the beach. I looked again, and the one ship that was up above the other 2 came down equal with them, and the 3 went down below my sight, because then they were past the tops of the buildings across the street. I had no interest in getting closer. I walked into Mark's place, I sat down on the couch, and I contemplated and absorbed what I had just experienced. I said, I want to remember this. And also I wanted to reflect on and absorb my own feelings, because they were strange. Now, number one, it was very apparent to me in very powerful ways. What I was looking at was not of this earth. Now that's an interesting statement, because just yesterday I was checking out L.A. Marzulli, and he had some woman who was telling a story about seeing a UFO, and she asked someone, I forget who it was, something about the UFO being of the from another, universe or another star system or whatever. And whoever answered her question looked at her and says, what makes you think they're from some other star system or from another planet? That caught my attention. Yeah.
Well, you have a YouTube channel?
I do.
Oh, that's cool.
Here, you can check it out.
I'm a YouTuber, but I only have 37 and I have a GoPro.
This is a GoPro.
Oh, it is?
The Hero 5.
Oh, that's cool.
Check me out.
Alright, okay. Thank you.
Have a good day, buddy.
You too.
2 kids asking me a question. Do you have a YouTube channel? Let me think. I'm pretty sure I do. Praise you, Abba. Save these 2 kids. Using the videos we make together, in Yeshua's name I pray and ask, Yahweh. Yahweh my Elohim, Yahweh Echad. So anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, they told her, what makes you think they're from some other star system or from some other planet or whatever? That struck me because it's my personal opinion that these UFOs, and I'm not done telling you the story, that these UFOs, they're not from the Pleiades, you know, Orion, whatever. I think they are from the bowels of the earth. I think they're from here. And he said to her, what makes you think they're not from here? That struck me because I think they're from here. I think the most frequent observances are seen out in the ocean near Japan. These things are seen constantly, bam, slamming into the water like it's nothing, shboom, coming up out of the water. The oceans are the least known areas on Earth. Man can't get down there very deep at all. And if you go down really deep, where are you? You're near the abyss, Tartarus, hell, Hades, Sheol. So I think they have portals down there. It's all satanic. I think the whole UFO thing is a matter of Hashatan, Satan, trying to create his own race like he did way back in the beginning with the Nephilim and all that stuff. You don't know what I'm talking about? Study with me, the book of Genesis. The Nephilim, the giants. No, not the football team. You hear a trumpet? What? I'm waiting. Anyway, this UFO stuff, it's all Satan's activity. He's trying to create his own race and whatever. So I think they're from here. Anyway, I just went in to Mark's place. I sat down. I did not want to do what Mark was doing. I did not want to be near them. I felt extreme threat, extreme danger to reach out and touch someone. So I just sat there and I thought, let me absorb this. It's pretty amazing. So I did. And I remember seeing them. They were maybe, how far? I mean, I was up fairly close to the street, looking across the street. Venice Boulevard's a big street. Then there's buildings there, and then there's the beach. And these things were they were at the beach where the water hits the sand, and they were up, I would guess, let's say the buildings are 20, 25 feet high. They may have been 40 feet up in the air. And I saw the one that was up higher than the other two came down equal with them, and then the three of them went down to where I couldn't see. They went behind the buildings from my point of view. There was no sound of any kind, no propellers of any kind. To me, they looked like they were about the size of large helicopters. No sound, just those two red lights back and forth on the bottom. And here's the key: they were silver in color, metallic, but you could not focus on the surface of the metal. Mosquito paranoia. That is mosquito. Or mosquito paranoia. You know, you couldn't, like, you look at this car, you can see the surface of the metal. With these, it looked iridescent. I couldn't tell, is here the surface, there. I couldn't find the surface. It's hard to explain. Anyway, I let it go. So Mark comes back. And then, you know, I says, you know, what happened? I told him what I saw. He says, I saw the same thing. The one up top came down. That was like the mothership, he thought. Then the three of them came down, like maybe 15 feet above the water. 10 to 15 feet above the water. He said there were like 60 people on the beach. They're standing there, maybe 20 to 30 feet away, and the three UFOs are 10 to 15 feet up. They were close. 60 people, 50, 60 people, all witnessing this at the same time. Then, again, the one ship in the middle went away first, and then the other two followed. But Mark said, he says, you know, you couldn't hear anything, and they went in such a straight line. He said it looked like they just shrunk and disappeared. He said, but you could tell, you could sense it, that they went out in such a straight line, so fast, no sound, that they just got smaller visually. That was a day I'll never forget. So, UFOs. I don't know, you know, when the rapture happens, the net chetef, it may be a very convenient story to say, what happened to all these people? Oh, they were taken, you know, by the UFOs. They're very friendly, and the ones who went, they're going to learn from them, and they'll be joining us soon, you know. A lot of these UFO stories, people are taken, abducted, and they're asked, you know, they show them little children and adults and whatnot, and they're asked, do you see any difference between these and your own kind? And if people say, yeah, I see a difference, say, well, we're working on it, we'll be with you soon. Other people say, no, I don't see any difference, and they're like, yeah, we'll be joining you soon. This is part of the chaos and the insanity that's going to ensue during the 7-year tribulation. It's going to be crazy. I got another package in the mail, a Trader Joe's bag here, but I wanted to share all this with you. Where do I start? Here's the, this is a package from Tiffany, the Detzel family, from Tiffany, Ryan, Zoe, and Zayden. Now, there are so many different ways I want to say thank you. Our lives are filled because of having so much more of a clear understanding of Abba Father's, Yahweh's Word, because of your teachings. You know, sharing how, this is Tiffany talking, sharing how her relationship with Elohim has grown because of the videos that Abba Father, that Elohim creates through me. We've been so excited to send you some organic wine. This looks good. This is a Merlot, one of my favorites. I like red wines. And this is a Pinot Grigio. Pinot Grigio. whatever, made with organic grapes, you know, it's all organic stuff. I really appreciate this. But got a wind chime over here that was made by Ryan. Here, Zayden, man, I mean, Zayden really, he likes to be like Alan, you know, playing guitar and whatnot. Dear Alan, and he writes in the audio that says on top, Shalom Chavar. That's Shalom, my friend. You are a light in my life. I love you. I love your songs too. I'll see you on the other side. Picture of him winking. And then Tiffany wrote this note here. I just had to send you this. These are pages from Zayden's notebook through the year. I photocopied them, made this book so you could see the fruit of what the Ruach is doing through you, even in children. Hallelujah. I love that. It means so much to me. When you see blue lines, like he says, that's Yahweh speaking to me, and this is Zayden's instructions. When you see yellow like scribbles, he says that's the power of Yahweh. When you see what looks like a cross, he says that's Tau, the last oat of the 22 odiot, the last letter. All of these pictures were his ideas to go with the scriptures, and I was shocked sometimes. So, you know, here he's got the odiot, and I'm not going to show you all of this, but these are his studies of the odiot. He's studying scriptures and making odiot studies, and then drawing pictures that are relative to what he's learned. Belief comes by hearing, and hearing by the word of Yahweh. Romans 10:17 Romiyim. Thank you, Zayden. Now here we have a teepee. Pitch your tent with Elohim. And that was made by Zoe. Dear Alan, you've been a big inspiration to me through the last 2 years of my life, and you're amazing. I wish I could give you as much as you've given me. Yada, yada, yada. I made a picture of a mockingbird because of your amazing song, Naked Moon, about your amazing encounter with a mockingbird. A mockingbird also just happens to be the Florida state bird. The Detzels are from Florida. And this is my matan for you. So, what's this? There's writing on the bottom of the bag. I haven't seen that. Enjoying my time down here in the Sunshine State. Hugs and kisses, TJ. Trader Joe's. Cute. Now, this is going to go out on my porch. Ryan, I have to tell you, this little note that you sent me folded up. Thank you, Chavari. Ryan says, Alan, you are family. I cannot tell you how much your presentation of the word has impacted our house. We have been so excited to send you some of our love and appreciation. I hope this package finds you well. I am well, my friends. Thank you for all your prayers. But Ryan made this himself. And that's going to go out on my porch. I have one out there now that catches the breezes. The breezes aren't going to affect this. When this thing goes, I'll know that there's heavy winds. And then they made me this coconut. Ask for the ancient path and find rest. Yirmiyahu 6:16. And then on this side, it says, Shalom, from your Chavarim in Florida, the Detzels. They painted this themselves. So, I am Baruch by all of my wonderful friends around the world. And that's our walk for today. See you again next week, Abba willing. Shalom, my friends.